I'm going to be making penne vodka. What you need is a half a pound of blackberry prosciutto, which is $7.99. Half a container of fresh sliced mushrooms, which is $2.79. One medium white onion or half a large white onion, which is 99 cents. Delalo black olives, which are $4.95. Box of rigatoni, which is $1.49. A 50 milliliter bottle of Absolute vodka, which is $2.50. ShopRite brand heavy cream, $3.99. Crisco vegetable oil, $3.99. And Francisco Rinaldi sauce, which was on sale, $2. You're going to need about 6 slices of the prosciutto. You're just going to lay it out, and you're going to cut it into chunks. Size doesn't really matter. You just don't want it to be too big, because it all comes apart when you're cooking it. The cost of the meal total is about $28.68, but per serving, since there's about 6-ish servings, I think it's about $4.78 per person. You can stop it. This should be about the size of the prosciutto pieces. You can just rip it with your hands if it's hard to cut, just to make sure that all the pieces are the right size. Then when you're done with that, just push it to the side, and you're gonna do the olives now. You need like 8 to 10 olives. You just kind of push on it to get the pit out, and you just slice them. There are variations to this recipe. You can use penne noodles instead of rigatoni noodles. I use rigatoni noodles because of the the spirals that they have on them, holds the sauce better, absorbs it better. I don't know, that's what my uncle said when he taught me this, because this is his recipe. You could use fresh basil, garlic, oregano, crushed tomatoes. I've even heard of peas, crushed red pepper, basically any vegetable or spice that you like is fine. Or you can, instead of using jarred sauce, I know people make their own sauce. That's what my uncle usually does, but it just takes a really long time to do. You can cut it. Next, and this is my least favorite part, is cutting the onion. So peel off the skin. There are many ways to make this healthier. If you just look online, I saw a bunch of ways. There was one way, you can make it vegan, and that recipe included brown rice, organic peas, capers and cashews, and I also found a low-fat version online and stuff. You want to dice the onions into large chunks, so pieces like this are fine. It seems like it's really big, but it works really well in the sauce, that size. So you're gonna turn your burner on to medium high, and you're just gonna put in 2 teaspoons of oil. And you want your oil to heat up first before you put in any of your vegetables, because if you put the vegetables in right away, then they tend to soak up the oil. So you're just gonna give it like 2 minutes. And the first thing that we're gonna put in are the onions and the mushrooms. Alright, so while we're waiting for the oil to heat up, I'm gonna just talk about some nutritional facts about some of the ingredients. So the sauce, you're supposed to, the serving size is half a cup, which is like 80 calories, 3 grams of fat, 540 milligrams of sodium, 500 milligrams of potassium, and 14 grams of carbohydrates. The Barilla rigatoni serving is 2 ounces, 200 calories, 1 gram of fat, and 42 grams of carbohydrates, 7 grams of protein. The heavy cream is a tablespoon. There's 50 calories, 5 grams of fat, 20 milligrams of cholesterol, 5 grams of sodium. And the vegetable oil is a tablespoon. It's 120 calories, 14 grams of fat, and 2 grams of saturated fat. Alright, so now we're going to add the onions and the mushrooms because our oil is heated. Hot. Turn it down a little bit so you don't burn yourself like I just did. I'm going to turn the vent on so I don't set off the fire alarm at my house. Alright. So put in the onions and the mushrooms. Show it. You do this until the onions look glazed or and like shiny. Alright, so you're gonna add your prosciutto now. And your black olives. And you're gonna stir this constantly. Because you don't want to burn it. And you're going to do this for 3 to 5 minutes. Alright. So if you look, you can see the prosciutto is starting to turn like more like a brown color, like how when you cook normal ham. So that's how you know that it's getting there. You just want to keep stirring it. And then you're gonna, right about now, you're gonna add the 50 milliliters of vodka. And you know that it's cooked out when you don't see any more liquid other than like the oil that you added in. So I'm going to pour the vodka in now. So you're going to turn the heat on to medium low, and you're going to let it simmer with the vodka. And it cooks off when you don't see any more liquid. As you can see, there's not any liquid in here really, except for what you would have had from the oil. So that means the vodka is cooked out. So now we're going to add a cup of heavy cream. We're we're just gonna mix that in. And when it starts to boil, that's where we're gonna add our sauce. So we're just gonna leave this for a little bit until that starts to boil. I poured my sauce into a bowl because it's easier to pour. And you see how it's starting to boil? So now I'm gonna add the sauce. And I can only fit half the jar in here, so I have to put the other half in now. So I'm gonna stir in what I have. And now I'm gonna pour in the rest. Alright, put that in the sink. I'm just gonna stir it around a little bit. It should be this orange color. Just keep stirring it. Make sure there's nothing on the bottom. So you're gonna wait for that to simmer. And usually once that starts simmering, that's when you boil the water for the pasta. I'm gonna make the pasta in class because reheated pasta is really gross. But once the water that you put on for the pasta starts to boil, that's usually when you turn the sauce off, and that takes about 10 minutes because you need like a big pot. And for the rigatoni pasta, you need 4 to 6 quarts of water in a big pot, and that takes about 10 minutes to start to boil. When you cook the pasta, you know that the pasta is done when you take the rigatoni noodle and you cut it, and when you look at the noodle, there's like a lighter coloring around the edge than in the center, and that's when you know that the pasta is al dente. So that's when you know that it's done. This is what the pasta looks like when it's simmering. You see those little bubbles on the side. Just gonna let it simmer, stirring it occasionally to make sure that nothing is on the bottom because you don't want your sauce to burn. And you're just gonna leave this on for about 10 minutes.